Hello everybody and welcome to episode 3 of Let's Process Your Image, where you send images through to us and we go about our way of how we see it from a processing point of view. So for this week's episode, Joanne Matson sent through an image that she took in the Serengeti this year, where she joined us on the Serengeti migration safari. And let's have a look at the image and see how we're going to go about processing her image. Alright, so that's the image that Joanne has sent through, and beautiful image. I clearly remember the sighting, a spectacular one it was. And you can go about two ways of photographing cheetahs in the rain like this. So Joanne in this particular case has gone for freezing the moment, so you can see there's no sort of movement around the head, and she's also frozen those droplets. So she used quite a fast shutter speed with this. And then if you want to get some blur in the head and also more of a streak in the droplets, then you'll go for a slower shutter speed, something around about an 80th of a second. That will give you that nice spray that you can get. All right, so with Lightroom, it's also quite a handy tool to learn from. If you hit I twice, it actually gives you your settings when you captured this particular image. So as we mentioned, she went for a faster shutter speed, 1/500, and that enabled her to freeze these individual droplets. Okay, so I'm going to hit F just to get a full screen, and two things that I want to really bring out of this image. It's already a beautiful image, so we won't have to do too much from a processing point of view. But one thing I want to do is crop in a little bit, just to have the focus more on the cheetahs, and also try and bring those droplets out a little bit more. So let's see how we're going to go about doing that. So we'll start off with our cropping, and as I mentioned, we're going to go in quite tight on this to get more of an emphasis on these two cheetahs. Okay, so I think something to that extent. Let's have a look. Okay, so that for me looks good. You already see your eyes aren't dwelling anywhere. It's going straight to those cheetahs, and that's what you want with an image like this. So let's go, and we're going to start off again with our basic panel. And I'm going to start off, I just want to get the temperature up a little bit, just to create a little bit more warmth in the image. Just a slight change, so something to that effect. And then we're going to go and work on our whites and blacks to get those correctly exposed. So we'll start off with our whites. Something like that. And then also the blacks down just a little bit. Okay, so about there. So you can already see a massive difference, more color, more punch. Now we want to get just these droplets here. You can see they're quite visible, but we just want to make them stand out a little bit more. So we're going to lift these highlights up, and you can see those droplets immediately stand out a bit more. Okay, and we'll just lift these shadows slightly. Okay, something like that. And then we'll also maybe just add a little bit of vibrance. Not much. Okay, so from a basic panel point of view, that's about as far as we're going to go. We're going to tone curve, and we're going to work on these lights and darks. Also, again, just to create a bit of contrast in the image. So let's lift these lights up a bit. Again, still keeping an eye on the histogram over here. Remember, you don't want to peak, have it peak too much on either sides. So we'll lift these whites, maybe +8, and then darks just down slightly. So even like that 2 mark, that looks good. Okay. Then from a detail point of view, remember the sharpening. If we sharpen without the masking, it's going to sharpen across the whole frame, which we don't want. We want it to be just on the cheetahs. So with the masking, let's see where we go with this. So about there looks good. And we'll go up to about 44. All right, so I wouldn't really do too much more to this, except I want to just maybe darken the edges a bit, create a bit of a vignette, just to have the viewer's eyes a little bit more focused on the cheetahs. Okay, so have a quick look just to see this is without the vignette, and that's with the vignette. So a slight difference, but it does make a big difference in the greater scheme of things. So let's have a look. Before and after, you can see huge difference, and we haven't actually done that much. It's just small adjustments to a few things. Okay. Now let's have a look and see how Joanne processed her image. So this is the image that I did, and then that is Joanne's version. So very, very similar. She's gone in for a little bit of a closer crop, which I like. And that is my version. So very, very similar from a processing point of view. So Joanne, well done. Great image, beautifully captured and also beautifully processed. Now, if you guys would like any of your images featured in the Let's Process Your Image series, hit me down at the bottom here. My email's there. Send through your raw file as well as your processed image, and then we will go through the processing in that episode. I have got quite a few images, and I'm trying to get through all of them as quickly as I possibly can. And so if your images has not been included yet, it will be in the next few episodes. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more images with you guys next week. Until then, have a good one. Cheers.